Stop for a second and imagine this. You're sitting with someone you like, or maybe love, late at night. The world is spinning just a little, and you realize this is your chance to ask the questions you've never had the courage to ask stone cold sober. What if, in just the next few minutes, you could unlock secrets, hear real feelings, or finally know where you stand? Today, I'll reveal the 6 questions you should ask her when she's had a few drinks and her guard is down. Because sometimes, the truth comes out when the filter comes off. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This video is not about taking advantage of anyone or making anyone uncomfortable. We're interested in genuine connection, not manipulation. Use these questions only in safe, responsible, and consensual contexts. And remember, alcohol can amplify emotions and lower inhibitions, but honesty and mutual respect come first. Now let's get started. Let's be real. Liquid courage is a thing. We've all seen it. Maybe you want to know where you stand in her heart. Maybe you want to know what she's really afraid of, or what she truly wants from life, love, or even you. These 6 questions aren't magic, but they can open doors to honesty you might never walk through otherwise. Let's set the scene first. You're not at a wild party, but you're somewhere where the mood is relaxed, a few drinks in, friends around, maybe some music, and you're talking late into the night. She's not wasted, she's just loosened up. This is your chance for connection. Here's the first question you should ask her when she's in that honest, unfiltered state. What's something you've always wanted to tell me but haven't? Let that land. Don't rush her. Give her a second. If she laughs awkwardly, reassure her. It's just curiosity. You're open to whatever she shares. This question is powerful for one reason. It puts the ball in her court. It's open-ended, but direct. I've seen people answer this question with confessions of admiration, regrets, feelings they weren't sure were reciprocated. Sometimes it's, I always thought you were out of my league, or there was a time I wanted to be more than friends. Other times it's deeper, I was really hurt when you forgot my birthday, or I wish you'd open up to me more. No matter what she says, listen, because that truth, unfiltered and unscripted, is rare. Now, for question 2. If you could change just one thing about your past, what would it be? This one's huge. It's not just about old regrets or mistakes. It's about understanding her values and the baggage she carries. When someone is a little tipsy, they may let go of the defensive answers and share something real. Maybe she'll talk about a person she lost, a relationship she blew up, a risk she didn't take. Pay attention to the emotion behind her answer. Does she sound wistful, angry, relieved? It might sound like this. Honestly, I wish I'd stood up for myself in my last relationship. Or, I should have told my parents what I really wanted to do with my life. You're peering behind the curtain of her persona, seeing the scars and the lessons. This vulnerability can bond you together if you treat it with care. Moving on to the 3rd question. Who is the person you trust the most, and why? Trust is a fragile thing. People don't talk about it directly that often, but it shapes everything. When drunk, the mind tends to bypass logic and head straight for feeling. The answer to this question is important for 2 reasons. First, it'll show you what loyalty and faith mean to her. Second, it may tell you your place in her world. Listen for the why. Does she trust someone because of childhood memories, shared trauma, or just time? Maybe she says, my older brother. He's always had my back. Or, honestly, probably my best friend from college. If not, it's still a window into her world. On to question 4. What's one thing you wish people understood about you? This is the kind of question that can make someone drop their guard, even more so with a little alcohol in the system. Maybe she puts on a tough front during the day, but actually wants people to know she gets anxious too. Maybe she acts carefree, but inside, she's terrified of making mistakes. People spend so much time trying to be understood, but not everyone gets the chance, or has the courage, to explain themselves. When you ask this, you're giving her that space, and the drinks might make her finally put words to it. Don't be surprised if she pauses, thinks, or even tears up. You might get an answer like, "I wish people knew I'm not as confident as I seem." Or, "I wish people realized how much I hate being alone." Or maybe, "I wish people knew that I pay attention to the little things." Also, if you're ready to fast-track your success, check out my new course in the description or comments for exclusive strategies. This isn't about phobias. It's about genuine anxiety for the future, the present, or even the past haunting her. Maybe she'll answer, "Honestly, I'm scared of ending up alone." Or, "I'm afraid I'll never find a job I really love." Or even, "I'm afraid I'm not enough for the people I care about." Sometimes people will try to brush off this question with humor or sarcasm. But if you're quiet, listen, and don't interrupt or make a joke, you may get a deeper, truer answer than you ever expected. You'll know her better, and she'll feel seen. And finally, the sixth and arguably most revealing question. If you knew no one would judge you, what would you do differently in your life? This one cuts straight to the heart of aspiration and insecurity. Inhibitions go down with a drink or two, and so does the fear of being judged. You're inviting her to dream out loud about her job, her relationships, her passions, or maybe even you. She might say, "If no one would judge me, I'd quit my job and travel the world." Or, "I'd tell my parents I don't actually want to get married yet." Maybe she'll say, "I'd tell you how I really feel." Sometimes, this opens the door to confessions, from wanting a new hairstyle to deeper wishes about love and acceptance. Let's pause for a moment, because you might be wondering, why these questions? Why not just ask, "Who do you like?" Or, "Do you have a crush on me?" Here's the truth. Direct questions about feelings often make people put their defenses up, even after a few drinks. What these 6 questions do is create space for real conversation. They're invitations, not interrogations. When you ask someone deeply personal questions in a kind, attentive way, when you're not pushing, but just opening doors, you become the person she trusts enough to let her real self be seen. So, how do you use these questions? Don't force the answers. Let her share as much or as little as she wants. Sometimes just asking is powerful enough, regardless of how much she reveals. Now you might be wondering, what if she cries or gets angry or says something you weren't expecting? That's okay. Real truth isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's messy, awkward, or emotional, but that's what makes it real. If you stay present, stay kind, and let her know you're there no matter what, you're building the kind of trust most people spend years searching for. Of course, there's a flip side. Alcohol can lead to exaggeration, confessions that are a little blurry, or even statements she might rethink in the morning. So, don't take any one answer as gospel. The point isn't to get her to say something she'll regret. It's to start a real conversation. Follow up the next day if she said something important or emotional. Check in on how she feels after sharing. That kind of care will mean even more. You take a breath and you say, "Hey, is there anything you've always wanted to tell me but haven't?" She looks at you for a second, maybe raises an eyebrow and says, "Yeah, actually. Remember when we went out last month? I was really nervous. I almost canceled." She laughs, shakes her head, "But I'm glad I didn't. I felt like myself with you." You smile, absorb it, and don't press for more. Later, as the conversation flows, you ask, "If you could change one thing about your past, what would it be?" She sighs, her eyes go distant. "I think," she says, "I'd call my grandma more. She passed away before I told her how much she meant to me. I always regret that now you're talking about family, memories, and what you'd both do differently if you could." The walls are down. By the end of the night, you might have both shared more than you planned, but you'll walk away with a bond that's real, not just surface-level flirting or banter. It's worth saying, sometimes the whole point is not about getting answers at all. It's about showing someone you care enough to ask. That, in itself, is rare. In a world obsessed with surface-level connection, likes, posts, one-word texts, a real question and real listening is almost revolutionary. Will she remember everything she said the next day? Maybe, maybe not. Sometimes drunk words are sober thoughts, but sometimes they're just half-remembered feelings, blown out of proportion by the night. Either way, you showed up, you asked, you listened. And here's the twist. These questions work just as well when you're both sober, if you build the trust and warmth to ask. If you wait for the perfect moment, you might be waiting forever. Before we wrap up, let's address a big myth: alcohol as a truth serum. Does it always work? Number. Sometimes people just get sillier or sleepier. Sometimes they get dramatic or sentimental. Thanks for watching. If you want to get the results you wish for fast, then check my limited time offer on my new course, which will skyrocket your success in dating. Click the link right now down below in the description or in the comments and grab this opportunity. See you in there.